You've probably used flashcards forever, right? But what if I told you there's a way to seriously supercharge them? Today, we're going to break down the Leitner system. It's a simple, powerful method that can totally revolutionize how you learn. Well, just about anything.
But first, let me ask you something. You spend hours, maybe days, writing out all those flashcards, but how much of that stuff do you actually remember? You know when it really counts? Is that whole process efficient, or are you just kind of spinning your wheels?
Look, the classic flashcard method is a classic for a reason. It works, to a point. But it turns out that just flipping through a single messy stack of cards isn't the best way to lock information into your long-term memory. It really isn't.
The biggest issue with the old-school method is how inefficient it is. You end up treating every single card the same. That means you're wasting precious time going over stuff you've already mastered, while the concepts that are actually tripping you up just aren't getting the attention they need.
So what's the fix? Well, this is where the Leitner system comes in. It's a super-structured approach designed way back in 1972 by a science writer named Sebastian Leitner. And the whole idea is to make your study time smarter, not just harder.
At its core, the Leitner system is really just a clever physical way to use a proven technique called spaced repetition. You're basically hacking your brain's own forgetting curve. See, by reviewing information at longer and longer intervals, you're sending a powerful signal to your brain that says, hey, this is important, don't delete it, move it to long-term storage.
And that's the whole point. The system automatically makes you focus your energy exactly where you need it most, on the tricky stuff. But it also makes sure you get a light refresher on the things you already know so they don't slip away. It's all about targeted, efficient learning.
Okay, so enough with the theory, right? Let's get our hands dirty and actually see how this works. We're going to build this incredibly effective tool that you can set up in literally minutes.
First things first, let's grab our supplies. You don't need anything fancy here. In fact, sticking with the old school stuff is part of the magic. Just get some index cards, a pen, and 5 things to separate your cards. Boxes, envelopes, even paper clips will do the trick.
The setup is just brilliantly simple. First, you make your deck of flashcards for whatever you're learning. Then, you label your 5 boxes with how often you'll review them. A good place to start is daily for box 1, then every other day, weekly, bi-weekly, and finally monthly for box 5. To begin, every single one of your new cards gets dropped into box 1.
Now, this whole system runs on one simple, powerful rule. It's the golden rule that tells you where every card goes. If you get an answer right, the card levels up. If you get it wrong, it goes all the way back to the beginning. That's it.
So when you nail a card, it graduates to the next box, which means you'll see it less often. But, and here's the genius part, if you get it wrong, it doesn't matter if it was in box 4 or box 5, it gets demoted all the way back to box 1 for daily review. This forces you to constantly re-engage with any material that slipped your mind, giving it immediate, focused attention. So the basic system is amazing, but what's really cool is how flexible it is. With just a few little tweaks, you can customize it to perfectly fit your study schedule and whatever your goals are.
For example, if you're cramming for a test that's next week, you probably don't need a 5-box system with a monthly review, right? Just use 3 boxes with a tighter schedule, like daily, every other day, and weekly. You can even adjust the difficulty. The original method is tough. It sends wrong answers right back to the start. But you could modify it so a card only goes back 1 level. And of course, always keep adding new cards to box 1 as you learn new things.
Oh, and here's a fantastic pro tip for your study sessions. Let's say today you're supposed to review box 1, 2, and 3. Start with box 3. This gives you a nice little confidence boost by hitting the stuff you probably know best first. And it's actually more efficient. Why? Well, think about it. If you get a card from box 3 wrong, it moves to box 1, and you'll end up reviewing it again in the exact same study session.
Of course, while the physical method is proven to help memory, the act of handwriting itself is super powerful, we do live in a digital world. And luckily, there are some awesome apps that can completely automate this whole process for you.
So it really comes down to choosing what works for you and your lifestyle. The tactile benefit of making physical cards is real, no doubt, but it's also a lot of work and not exactly portable. Digital apps, on the other hand, are incredibly convenient. They handle all the scheduling and sorting for you, though you do have to fight off the temptation of all those other notifications on your phone. If you do decide to go digital, you'll want an app that's built specifically for spaced repetition. BrainStape, Cram, and Flashcard Lab are all fantastic choices. They totally automate the Leitner system, moving cards for you based on how confident you say you are with each answer. So there you have it. We've seen how the Leitner system can take your studying from this passive,
kind of an efficient chore and turn it into an active, powerful tool for real long-term learning. This isn't just another study hack. It's a fundamental upgrade to how your brain holds on to information. So I guess the only question left is, what are you going to master next?